one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. I'll call the meeting order and ask for clerk to call the roll.
Lawrence, Hastings, Lynch,
Here.
Pistol,
Here.
Ward,
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Brings us to the approval of agenda. I'd like to move, we have a representative, Paula, from CASA here tonight. I'd like to move her up into the, right before the department head reports. We'll get you here in just 2 seconds. And I entertain a motion second to insert her in the agenda, the CASA representative right before department head reports.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
And I'll ask for a motion second to approve the agenda as amended.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
You have in front of you the minutes for the April 10th meeting and also the monthly financials. I'll entertain a motion in a second to approve those as presented.
I'll make a motion we approve the financials as presented.
Second.
Are there any discussions on any of that? I'll ask for a vote.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
That brings us down to, with the amended agenda, a representative from CASA here. We were going to have Gemma tonight with us. What was her last name? Quintana. And she's the engagement specialist for CASA. And also, she's about an hour out, and I think she's having a little bit of trouble. We do have Paula here, Bramlett, teen specialist. I want you to, I don't know, a month or so ago, you had a little event up there at the annex, and we deal with a lot of things. We do with financials, we do with animals. Rita and her crew does a great job, and y'all all do a great job. She does a fantastic job, her organization, dealing with people, especially people who are most at risk, need the most help, and y'all do a phenomenal job. You always need a little more help, always. So if you would, just come up. This is very informal here. Just tell them who you are, who you work for, and kind of what y'all do, and our facilities here, and some of your needs. And whatever else, what do you want to say? Just very informal.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, my name is Paula Bramlett. I am the teen specialist for CASA, and we are under the Children's Advocacy Alliance. I work under the CASA side. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. You may see it as CASA Gal, so to be also guardian ad litem. So we work with a group of volunteers that are appointed by the court to represent children in the community that are abused and neglected. Some of these children are in foster homes, some of them are in shelters, some of them are with families, and some of them are up for adoption. And some of these children enter the court system with dependency and neglect cases, and some of them stay in the system until they turn 18 or 21. So when we get advocates, we train them, we support them, we meet with them, and what we do is we stand behind them as they go and they meet with the people who are in the child welfare system. So they meet with the judges, the teachers, the ad litems, and everybody that is supposed to be supporting that children, down to therapists and doctors, and we facilitate communication. We work hand in hand with DHS. And if you know anything about the DHS system, it's like somebody riding a tricycle pulling a semi-truck. They have so much on their plate, and also the turnover rate for DHS is very high due to the high workload, and they get burnout very quickly. Within the first 2 years is typically burnout. So these children might experience, okay, well, they got a caseworker. They may not have even been able to say goodbye to their parents, their siblings, their pets, their best friends, never to see them ever again. Then they get sent to a random home, random strangers, new rules, new place. You might come from a very rural part of Arkansas to a big city of Arkansas. You might go from Marshall to Pine Bluff. You never know where you're going to be or where you're going to be next. Some of these children don't know where they're going. And they meet their attorney ad litem. They meet their caseworker with DHS. They meet their PA from DHS. All these people change. Their PAs change frequently. Their caseworkers change. And somewhere in the shuffle is a child who doesn't have anybody to say what they need or what they want. And a lot of times it comes across as this child has trauma. But what people say is, this child cannot behave. This child isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. And DHS is like, well, I'm ticking the boxes. Did they go to therapy? Are they getting tutoring? What's going on with this child? But we need people who are with the child, who are for the child, who stand with the child from the moment they are removed from their home until the moment that they get permanency. We have some children that are in this system all of their life, and they're passed on from shelter to inpatient to outpatient. And what I'm asking you today is to take some consideration. We have over 4,000 children in foster care in Arkansas right now. We only have 2 advocates in Van Buren County. We have a lot of cases in Van Buren County. We have a lot of children in Van Buren County. And a lot of people know what CASA is on a very superficial level, but when you dive down deep, you can understand how desperately we need people who are willing to say, I'll give a couple hours a month to go check in on a kid to see how they're doing. Give a court report to me so when I go to the court, I can say, this is what we're seeing with the child. So if you know anybody who's got some time where they can donate their heart to a child and be with them through this scary, traumatic process, it takes a strong person. But we are so grateful for every person who will stand up and say, I am for the children in Van Buren County. We serve Van Buren County, Searcy County, Faulkner County, and Conway County. My role is I take care of the teens who, if you go to these big things that they have in Little Rock, Project Zero, for example, they put a child up on the stage, they say their name, they say what they like, and they move on to the next child. And some of these teenagers, sorry, there's a deer running down the road. Some of these children, they need hope. These young men need men. They need somebody to go, do you have a driver's license? Do you have a GED? What's your plan after you turn 18?
It sounds like you need, like you said, you need some help. You need volunteers. And what struck me, you said we're all volunteers. And you mentioned kids, and it's the same type of work. If you go to the nursing home, they need somebody to sit with an elderly person that can't feed themselves. Right. And it sounds like you got a whole lot of work, and I liked your analogy, and I'm sure y'all use it a lot, pulling the semi with a tricycle. But it was such a good program a few months ago and invited you here. I'm glad you came and you said, I just wanted everybody, and Warren does a great job of getting the word out. Yes. So they can contact you if I want to, if I think about it, sleep on it, pray about it, whatever, think I need help. What's the best thing to do? Just call you guys?
The best thing to do, if somebody wants just more information, you can find me on Facebook. My name is Paula Bramlett. I will make sure you get the information you need. I'm right here in Clinton. I live here. Grew up here, live right there on School Street. I'm right here. But also, for anybody who just wants to look into it, our website is hopeandjustice.org. Okay. And you open that website, and there's 2 tabs. One is CAA, well, it's Children's Advocacy Alliance, and we have CAC, the Children's Advocacy Center. The Children's Advocacy Center is a place where children who have been abused and neglected can go to one place that's a comfortable looking room. It's very welcoming, very warm, and you can tell a therapist what happened to you. We have a room where specialists can do a physical exam if needed. Everything has cameras. The police are on the outside looking in. And this is a special place for kids to go. So they don't have to tell their story 10 times, be re-traumatized 10 times. But this is all under the Children's Advocacy Alliance. If you go to hopeandjustice.org, I'm sorry, I digress. If you go to hopeandjustice.org, you click CASA. And you click on CASA, and then you get more information, and we'll make sure you get the information that you need.
Thank you.
Thank you so
I wanted to
much.
Put you on that most important work we'll do all night, probably.
I appreciate
Seriously.
you.
Any questions for her? Thanks, Paul. You can stick around or however you want to handle it. So, thanks. That brings us down to department head reports. The first one is the Airport Commission. Trevor Dawson, you can kind of tell us what's going on out there, or here, and,
Right here.
yeah.
Well, I'll start with project updates. We've finished the taxiway.
That's good.
I don't know if the FA's issued funds. Obviously, that was free. We had a drainage problem, but it's because we left a hay bale in the culvert. So when it rained, that water got all the way almost up to the hangars, but it didn't go in. And so I think that drain should be fine, because I mean that was that huge rain, and the culvert was plugged and it still didn't flood. So that's been the big deal, because that taxiway is elevated and it slopes down. So but Joey engineered all that, and Joey's best in the business, so I wasn't worried about it. I was when I saw that water going up, and I called him and he said, well, it looks like they just left a hay bale in there.
Somebody from the state was bragging on the work, though.
Yeah, we did. We got a good report from the Aeronautics Commission. They do inspections.
Yeah.
They just literally fly around and take a look, and they want to make sure that the funds they're putting out are being used to maintain airports within the federal guidelines. So we got a good report. Our fence grant is finished. I think we should be getting that paid for in the next week. Actually, I think our meeting's Monday.
Yeah, it
We'll
is.
finish paying
19.
for that. But walk-through inspection looked good. Everything's taken care of. There's a new motor gate over here, so you can use that now. And I'm trying to I'll probably call dispatch and let them know that gate works now, that you can get an ambulance in this one. Because they're having to go down here and go like on the taxiway,
Right.
and the helicopter's coming in, and it was a terrible thing. So we've got that fixed.
It's the same as everything else.
Yep, it should be.
We will have keys. We put lock.
It's got fire department boxes on it, and we're gonna get those locks on all the gates. So he cut that open, or unlock it and open it manually.
So instead of having to go up and push the code in case
Yeah, but
somebody
it's got, I just
Yeah.
was actually asking for something else.
Well, I didn't want to say.
Okay.
I'll give you the code.
It's all right.
Yeah, the code works.
Right.
The fence, the taxiway. I think this was the March meeting. We got a state grant for $235,760 for this hangar over here. I forgot my cardboard thing with the drawing. Have you guys seen that? Okay. It's posted everywhere. You should have seen it. If you haven't, I'm quit paying for ads. But it's down there in the office. If you do want to see it, it's just sitting down there. So that grant is for that. We're still working that out. We've got the drawings are almost done. They'll be done probably this Friday, and then we'll be ready to advertise for bids. And that should be rolling in the next, hopefully, 3 weeks. We should be able to get going on that. I've been talking a little bit about a construction loan. I don't know if you got anywhere on that.
Well, yeah, I want to do that. Everybody's got that letter that you sent, and one thing, and I'd encourage her. I think Dana came to your last meeting and talked, and Chad, we talked. One thing that's you look at and you say, well, the city is over the airport and we can move money around, but I think it'd be beneficial, you're saying to you, if we just had a loan from a bank. You know, one of the questions was, can commission, I think, take out a loan? I think it was a legal question. I'm not sure what the answer is. I don't do that. But I don't think anybody in this room is against, you know, the overall concept of having the school here is something that's great for the school, great for the city, great for the community. And I'm getting a lot of feedback encouraging that. You're going to be bringing kids in from a lot of different places.
Right. We've got, so, well, and this week I went to Gris Ferry and spoke to a lot of kids. And North Ark is doing the CNA program downtown. And so Gris Ferry, Southside, Shirley, and Clinton all met. And I was there in North Ark. We were all there. And they have a lot of the time where students can come from the other 3 school districts bus in for the CNA and the aviation program. So we're thinking this will be a pretty competitive program because it's, you know, we could take maybe 15, which is a lot of people, a lot of kids for that specific of a thing in our area. And that's the way it was designed. You can't have, you know, 50. So, but between the 4 school districts, I think we're going to get a lot of students bused over here and into aviation.
I mean, interrupt. That's one of your biggest classes was when it came up with aviation. That was pretty popular, I think.
Yeah.
Rick Massengill was pretty fired up about that. And I talked to the council members, and I said, you know, you could talk night for hours, but just encourage to come over and find you, and you just sit down and tell them, here's what I want to do. And my exam, I can't say, come over to my house for having a barbecue, we'll have a meeting. Just come talk to you and say, you can't have a council meeting, it's not a council meeting. But you're pretty available just to lay it out. You know, the letter says it pretty well, and if it's legal or
Yeah, I don't
whatever,
do much.
tell them what's that?
I don't do much.
Yeah.
I'm available.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of a good response from the whole state. Aviation is not a ginormous industry in Arkansas, but it is very profitable. And so we just kind of all know each other, and even at the state level, all these commissioners have reached out individually and recognized that this is a big deal in Arkansas. Not just here, but we're the only people doing this. And so North Ark's excited. They really want to see it happen. The main issue right now is we got to get that open by August. So we're extremely behind. I just need.
But now what you're asking for basically is you need to get a loan from a bank so that you can have the money to pay, and then it'll all get reimbursed by the time it's completed.
Right, all but the 20%.
But 57,000 or whatever it is, or
That's if the project runs on the liberal side of the way that it's estimated.
Right.
So we don't think it will be that much. We're hoping that the match looks more like 45,000. So, and we've got some assurance. I mean, we've already got it leased, so we've got income.
right.
And we've got some other things we can explore to make that match, but the in-between is what we need help on. Just getting that finished and open.
Right.
So that's the way. That is not necessarily for me, but that's what the commission moved to send to you guys.
So you're looking like a 6-month, a year loan, something like that?
Yeah, we don't, I mean, I think that before December we could have the note satisfied. We don't need much, we just need a little help. And we don't take, we're a self-supporting airport, so we don't use like local tax dollars. We get grants, and these commissioners are in charge of making sure that those tax dollars are allocated appropriately. But as far as sales tax...
You don't think it's good to loan from the city?
Right. We just don't use city funds.
Oh, I know, but I mean, why can't you just, the city could loan you at even 4% or whatever, like a bank would do for a year.
But I mean, it ain't, they're gonna pay the interest anyway.
Yeah.
So we're not.
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, I think it's a good idea to get it done. I think then it's all gonna get paid back pretty much, except for a small part. So the loan for just the duration of doing the building, that way they got access to pay to funds to pay it.
The main key is, so after the building's completed, we've got some more options as far as grants, but it has to be finished. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And like the mayor said, if you reach out to me, I can. It's kind of a giant conversation, but I can explain it better.
I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking quicker if you didn't go with a bank. But
Sure. Well, if we have a line of credit in place, because we've got a lot more that we're working with the North Arc on. Even up here down Airport Road, we've got close to another $1 million aside from the hangar facility going in. And so we just need some sort of buffer if we can do that. And I understand this is government and not business, and so that's why we're in here seeing what you guys think is the best thing to do. But as far as that note, I think it'd be satisfied by December. And like Dewey said, the interest payments, the airport's responsibility. And it's really just to keep your budget out of, most of all, your stuff's already allocated from what I understand for the rest of the year. And so this just popped up, as you can see, we've just now got it rolling. It needs to be open in August, so it just kind of popped up. So that's the way the commission's moved.
Well, I mean, your options on financing things. I mean, typically it's bond. Take a bond out. There are some limited scenarios where you can do short-term financing. Really, the answer to the question would probably be if you're serious about looking at financing rather than just paying for the building out of city funds, is to reach out to some sort of bonding company or reach out to lenders and talk to them about what the options would be. I mean, there are scenarios where you could get the city could do financing outside of calling a bond issue, but you're gonna have to talk to Ryan Bowman, Cruz and Associates, etc. Any of the different lenders that work in municipalities. So
if it's a hurry up process, it's like
that's
going to take a month.
Yeah, and I think that's just the question. I mean, it's not. Cities are different. Like, you can't just walk into the bank and say, "Hey, Regions, give us some money." Like, it's not like a business person can do. It's different. So, and what the cost is, and that's just something you're gonna have to talk to the lender about. Obviously, you can't do a bond. Like, I don't think anyone here would want to do a bond issue on this. You have to call an election and do things like that. So I don't think that's something. I think the other, there are some lending options that would not require bonds under certain kind of limited scenarios that may fit. And you're just going to have to reach out and explore those with lenders if that's what you want to do.
So could the city loan them the money interest-free for that period of time?
At the end of the day, it's city property.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, no, this is a choice on funding, and I think.
I don't understand that.
Well, I think just part of this strategic planning, there might be some advantage to financing versus paying it out of pocket, and that's just part of the choice that you've made. So,
But they've only got, so the time frame is the problem.
No.
Borrowing money doesn't just happen overnight.
And it wouldn't be 300,000 at one time. It would be,
They would start out paying, and then they'd pay interest on what they paid. It's a line of credit. It's like you're going to build a house, you get a construction loan. I got a $200,000 loan, but the first 6 months, I'm only borrowing this little bit, so I'm only paying interest on the small part until it increases, then your interest increases.
What I'm saying is how could we do it to where the city loan the money, we're only paying during that process, and we may be only out the $300,000 for 6 months or even less. And it would be able to get them going, because you're talking a month and then another month before contractors get done, and it's going to be August.
Well, strategically, again, using the line of credit and pursuing another grant with another state agency is the commission's plan, and that's a little bit strategic. Not necessarily. I mean, yes, just borrowing money from the city is an option, but I don't know if within these strategic parameters with this other grant we're looking at, that would correlate as far as repayment on that.
In other words, having a line of credit through a different deal would make available other grants, where just hitting the city to pay for it would not let them get the other grants.
Right, but in this situation that we're up against a clock on that. And
But it's kind of up to the airport commission now.
I mean, the airport commission, as far as I
are
can,
you thinking?
they're an administrative board. Can they not borrow money from a bank? I mean, they don't have to get our permission to do it, right?
I don't know. I don't think an administrative board can borrow money from the bank. I mean, that's, again,
It would be through
the city.
The city borrowing.
It's a municipal. It's just like when the water department takes out a bond or does this or does that. It's a city. The city takes on that debt or takes on that obligation, and the city built. If a building is built on the airport, it's the city's building that's built on the airport. So at the end of the day, and again, I think the way the project is funded or financed, I guess, might open up other grant opportunities. I think that's sort of the strategic choice that's being looked at.
They're gonna make you have last year's audit done and see that and turn all that in. Like cruising associates, they would have to see the most recent audit.
Yeah, I think the timeline's challenging to do finance. I really do. I think it is, but I also think the start would be reaching out to a lender and talking to them about what the options are. But I can tell you what I think they are, because I've looked at it, and I think like there's some short-term financing options that cities can take advantage of that can avoid the bonding situation. It ties to the percentage of your assets, like up to 5% of your assets and things like that. I don't believe we have any of those ongoing, so that would be if you're looking at what he's proposing, that's probably the avenue you'd go. Again, I don't know whether the time frame works, because I'm not going to be the one that's going to write that loan. So that's something you have to reach out to lenders and talk to them about. But it's the city. The city incurs debt, not the airport commission. So that's your choice.
Right.
I mean, I'm back to what it sounds like is, what do you want to do, and do you think it can be done? You know, the commission, what does the commission want to do, and do they think they can get done ready by August or not?
We did explore, and even with the mayor, if we could, use some city funds, but that will exclude us from
Other grant.
right. Basically, you pay for it and it's done.
Have you already looked into a lender or?
Well, I know that Arvest and OZK are municipal friendly, and that's just talking with some people at the state who work. I mean, airports do get construction loans, especially in Arkansas, just the way that the commissions are signed. And that's where all this started. I was exploring those options with people smarter than me, and they said, why don't you just do this? So that's where we started, and I brought all that to the commission, and they wanted to go this direction instead of just financing it, or get some money from you guys, or bearing the cost ourselves. The main thing, we were renting that building, and now we're not renting it, so that income is not available at the moment until we get it back up and going. So we've taken a hit. I mean, it's not a huge hit, but I mean, it's not a lot of income either. I think it was $650 a month is what it was. Obviously, it's going to be more upcoming, but I mean, there's no resolution or anything. I just wanted to talk with you guys about
In the interest of time, one thing I want to do is get everybody, we're obviously in the same room, just come by your place, each council member, and say, here's what I wrote through you, this is what I want to do, and then the council can say, yeah, we can do that, or no, we can't.
Unless somebody needs to go find out if we can even get a loan. Need to find out what it'll take, what the interest rates will be, what the terms. We need to find that out because we can go back and forth about whether we should or shouldn't, or
Exactly.
if we don't know the parameters for what the loan would be, it ain't doing us no good.
Well, we still don't know if we can get even a loan. So I've been waiting on that.
So do you need to? Are you going to have the bids in so you can figure out how much you need before you get the loan?
No, I mean, we've got estimates. We're going to bid the project, but we've taken estimates from contractors just to get the grant in place.
Right.
But the, formal bidding process is going to happen in a week. So
I'm still not understanding why you need a line of credit for this project if we have the money. I mean, you have to explain to me the situation, the strategic grant or whatever, because, I mean, if that's the issue, we fund this project and then get your line of credit for the next project or the next one. It sounds to me like this project needs to get started.
yeah, it definitely needs to get going.
Yeah. And we've got the money. I think the city has the money, so it sounds to me like we just need to get the money out and start going to work.
I guess I'm on the same boat as Jeff on the fact that if it's an airport commission and a city, it's all still part of the city. So
Well, we just don't use any city funds.
just trying to keep that audit off of,
We've loaned city funds before.
Yeah, that's happened before.
Yeah, we've done it before.
This isn't something that's never been
Yeah,
done.
that's what I was trying to
Because
figure out.
there's
I think
an
Richard.
80% grant coming in, and basically the city would just be reimbursed for the money. Again, I think it's just a choice.
Yeah.
It's just a choice on which direction you want to go, and
I thought we had a
It's just a
special
choice.
fund set up for borrowing money like this, didn't we, Richard?
Well, we put a line item in that for that very reason, Dan Clemens, our grants in development. We put that in so we could, but we don't have a place for that. Well, we can move this from admin over to grants and development we need to and get it back. Yeah, that's why we put it in there. But like I say, we could say
But we'll go along probably whatever you want to do, but we're just saying if you want to get the project started, we probably ought to go ahead and get the money.
Well, we've got, and it's reimbursable at 50% completion, not 50% payout. So as soon as that building looks like it's 50% done, and it, like if you put a hangar door on and you do the concrete and you gut the office, that's probably 50% just structurally. And so we could get money for that, but it's just the in-between. And we've got money to get going. It's just at the end of this project where the airport's going to be financially. If the city funds it and we're not available, but we exclude ourselves from potential grants after it's done. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Just for the airport's finances, the line of credit is the best option at the end of the project.
And it's not like you can't start.
Yeah, we can start.
Yeah, they could start. It's a matter of what they can get at the end after it's done.
When it's completed, and we've paid out, and then the match deficit's there, we're not gonna have a ton of cash. So that's why we're just hoping to hold it off a little, get it complete, hold a little bit on a note, pursue that grant, get that back, and then financially we'll be in good shape. We've already got at least building basically free instead of using city funds to compensate, because and it's just the city's paying instead of a grant.
Do you need us approval or anything tonight?
I don't know. That's not my job.
Well, I'll just say, we're high centered, we're just talking in circles for 30 minutes, so if we need any action, let's do it. And if we don't, we've got the money. I'll be at your airport meeting Monday, and anybody else that wants to be here, I'll talk to you, and like I say, I'll go see if we can, what our options are.
We have to find out what the options would be for a loan first.
You just gotta talk to the lender.
You gotta talk to the lender.
I don't know.
But we can get a construction loan. I mean, that's where I'm trying to start. Can we?
You can. There are some avenues that cities can borrow money on short-term financing projects they're based on limited criteria on what might apply in this case, and I think that's something that you can talk to a lender about.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, that's all we really needed. That's it.
Anything else? Trevor, anything else for the council?
Nope.
All right, thank you. You can stick around or head out, and I'll catch you tomorrow or something, if you don't. Brings us down to actually animal control. I will mention A&P. Metro Bass went very well. Well received, good turnout, did a good job feeding them. They had a good time, filled the hotels up. We're happy with that. Archie Fest will be the second weekend in June, the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Jason Hayes has the details on that, what all we're going to have. Check with him at Chamber of Commerce. And that brings us to animal control. Rita Tharp.
Okay. There are 25 dogs, of which 23 I have either picked up or I have authorized to be there from the city. 2 are rescue. We have 6 cats. 86 calls came into the shelter during business hours. I made 14 calls after hours. Also, just in case anybody's interested, the River Valley Mobile Vet will be at the shelter Saturday from 9 to 1. That's kind of a community service. They're going to vaccinate some of our dogs because it's a reduced rate, and it would be a reduced rate for the public as well. So if anybody's got any they want to have heartworm tested, vaccines, any of that, they do all that stuff. And it's a lot cheaper than going to the vet in case anybody wants to use that service.
What was the time?
9 to 1. And there will be a Save a Dog Sunday. We're having an event this Sunday. Some of the dogs that have been there the longest, or the elder dogs, the adoption fees will be waived to approved adopters.
So trying to get grandpa home.
Yes.
Or grandma, right.
Would you like another dog, Richard?
Right.
Never mind, I'll call Gia.
What?
I'll call Gia, never
I want to
mind.
know if you wanted another dog.
Oh, no, I don't. But maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right? Does anybody have any questions? That's all I got.
Okay, that's this Sunday, and it's where?
At the shelter.
At the shelter. Good deal. Yeah, those guys. Anything for Rita? I know we're moving that truck. Oh, we do that under the police, though. You got something to drive.
Yes.
So, good.
And my signs came in. So.
How many cats you say you had?
6.
Okay.
We've had a good luck adopting them, and we have adopted out some dogs. It's just 3 of them came back, and when they do, when it's no good reason except somebody's just saying, "Oh well, it chewed on my couch." Well, you know what? It's a puppy. That's what happens.
I hope you put those in Sunday too. I hate to see one go back. So.
I did too, but I hated to see them take it somewhere and dump it, so it came back to us.
I understand. Anything else for Rita? Thank you, ladies.
Okay, I'm out because my day's not over yet.
Thank all the ladies. Got the best workers in town. Brings us down to Fire Department Chief D.L. Webb.
Been busy this month. Everything's going good. We should be able to get the ladder truck in the new station next week. We have a final walkthrough next Tuesday, so we're getting real close to being done. And I would say at this point in time, we can probably have the next city council meeting in the new fire station.
All right. Charles is going to cook. Hey, thanks, Charles. Okay, I hope so. I mean, we're working on the tornado sirens. That's what I had under that.
He said he's supposed to be here tomorrow or next Wednesday. I can't remember. He had to go to Texas, but yes, we're going to get all that straightened up.
Anything for the chief? Doing a great job. Looks good out there. Thank you. Floodplain I have written in there. There's been some erosion on the creek on some of the stuff that the Nature Conservancy did. I think somebody taken a video of that, but the trees are still in place. Just wash some of the topsoil, maybe might get some, not riprap, but creek rock in there or dirt at some point. Everything else is going good. Don't know, I talked to Tim, don't know the status of a floodplain map, so I won't even bring it up. Bring us down to Parks and Rec, Charles Wilson report.
Mowing grass. Ball season's about over. If anybody's got any questions.
Did you get your ball field question solved today? I never got back with you. Okay, good deal. Anything for Charles on Parks? Looking good down there. Everybody's filling it up. Dewey and crew, the soccer's really popular too. That looks good.
They're done
Okay.
till maybe in August or whatever, but
Okay.
they'll probably, if they haven't already picked up their goals, they will pretty soon. So.
I've got a couple of three things for needing a motion and approval on. There's some fiberglass benches that we looked at. They're actually made of those. So you see, go out west and you see the wind turbines. They're like 8,000 feet tall or however tall they are big. They found a good use for them. They make park benches out of them. These benches are pricey. When I first saw them, I'm like, yeah, okay. But we went down this weekend with the Metro Bass, and as usual, we moved some. I'm always fixing the UR2 benches. Wood lasts a while. Metal lasts a pretty good while, but they rust. You got to paint them. I think over the life of that, these are fiberglass. I love fiberglass with epoxy on it. They'll last a long time. I don't know how we got in contact with this guy. I would like to get the council's approval to purchase some of those and put them on the park, kind of by the skate park, by the kiddie park. They're good looking and see how they work out. Like I said, they're pricey. It'll be like for three of them, big ones, be $22 and change $1,000. And you look at that and say, well, that's ridiculous. But they got the little cut printout on over the life of wood as opposed to metal as opposed to that, and show you what you're saving, but you're spending more, but you're saving, that's how the salesman always out-talks you. I'd love to try these. I think it'd be worthwhile. They look really good. If you see them in person, you're like, it's a good looking bench that'll last. I think the only thing they're probably not proof is vandalism, but had some of that down there. I can't take that out. One of them is something you can paint on. I think is one of these, Dina, that you can. I'd like to get some local person like a Trammell Hastings or somebody to paint something, Clinton, and then paint over it and keep that. And but anyway, I just wanted to mention that. I know we had the money. That'd be out of the. We had that grants and development building improvements. We had $50,000 there. I'd entertain a motion second to approve up to $23,000 to purchase some bench and some swings in that amount from building improvement.
Richard,
Yes.
it needs to move $23,000 from admin buildings and improvement line item to admin capital outlay inventory to
That's
purchase the
for the
benches from
benches?
Noble Winds. Mhm.
Okay. There's the motion.
I make a motion, we do what Dina said on the money.
There you go. Second? Second?
I'll second it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sammy, second. Okay. Any discussion? I'll ask-
One thing I had, and it's not about this, but I've had people ask me, and every time we don't talk about it, I don't know, I forget it till now. And I seen the swing purchase. It might not be none of this, but it's the same kind of deal. I've had them ask why we don't have a baby swing like at the parks, at the park.
What set up is what they brought in.
So I don't know how we can add that or put it in whatever.
I've had calls to lower the swings, and I'll just have to get down there and do
I
it.
mean, I
Don't
said
have
baby
it yet.
swing like a toddler swing,
The way they're set up by law. So if you go down there and lower them and somebody falls out and hurts herself, you're responsible.
Good, I'm off the hook.
But even like a toddler swing.
They're set up, they're brought in, engineered, set up, and put up. And if you alter them or do anything to them, you are liable for any accident that happens.
So it has to have a.
You would have to approve, you'd have to buy a toddler.
Engineer to come in and engineer and set the swing up for you and sign off on it. If I go down there and add chain to it and drop it down and some kid falls out and breaks his leg or breaks his arm or breaks his neck, then we gotta pay them for whatever it takes to do that.
Oh, I've just been asked about getting some.
Discussion on the motion and the second we have pending. I'll ask for
Sorry,
a
I
vote.
asked.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
I've got to vote no.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Got it? Thank you. The other one is the Adult Softball League. Josh Huey, I think, is going to be over that. I just need a motion and a second to approve the same contract we had last year. I think it was $500 to have that softball league and charge them.
moved. Second.
Did we get a second?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're quitting on me. Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you. And the third one involves baseball and softball, and Dina has some information on that. I never got back with you this afternoon on that.
Okay, some of our line items are over, so we need to move $6,400 from the baseball softball fund, machinery and equipment, to line items playing field or playing supplies $1,200, repair and maintain building and grounds $3,500, and buildings and improvements $1,700.
Money's in there, just needs to be moved around.
I'll make a motion to move it.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That brings us down to street department. Charles Wilson, you're up again.
Ain't got much, we got several projects in the work, but so if anybody's got any questions.
Yes, you do. I have a whole list of here. You're doing a great job on them. The state aid, I did talk to them. We'll have that. That's one of our resolutions we're going to vote on. They're going to let that on the 21st of next week. I think we're going down Tuesday to do some running around and asking some questions. Cleaning out the creek really helped a lot. What else? Oh, stoplight is ongoing. I think. Are we still using that other person's at Double B's?
Well, we're on the list to get here. They've had so much disasters, Little Rock, Conway, and everything, so much lightning and all that. So we're on the list, and I've got a bulb out, and I've got a lot of things going on. But like I said, we're at the mercy of when they can get here.
Somebody tell you had a bulb out?
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, and also that takes a little long. Sometimes it shuts down when it should be open at Double B's, but we're getting there. It's better than nothing at
Well,
all.
it's better than flash. Everybody
Yeah,
stop and then
yeah.
everybody goes. So
I don't know. I got pretty good at those roll stops.
And I've actually had people say they really liked it.
I like the
It
timer
breaks up the
better.
traffic. Yes.
You like
I
it?
like the timer better than the
Yeah,
motion.
it breaks the traffic up, and yeah. So
Me too. Yeah, I'm with him. But anyway, anything else on streets, Charles? Thank you. I think I've thrown in admin. I think we're going to do some computer upgrades. That's ongoing. I'll get a new printer, but I won't get a scanner because I would not know how to use it. Brings us down to police department. Chief Jay Murdoch is not here. He's really stowed up, got gout really bad. He went home today, and Lieutenant Baker was coming, but he was up all night and up all day, working around the clock. Jay said, you have your report in front of you. Ask if there's any questions on that. Also, he said the one thing that the two cars, thank you for that, they're getting the stuff put on them. That's ongoing, so very appreciative of that. That's all I have from the police department. I do need a motion and second to remove I'd mentioned this under the reader's report, the 2016 Dodge Ram truck from the police department's fixed assets and add it to the administration's fixed assets.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
And the VIN number's 250576, the last.
There you go. We got the VIN number and everything. Thank y'all for doing that. She was get it fixed up to give to her. She has something to run up and down the road for animals other than her car. So thank y'all. Ask for a vote on that.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Crystal,
Yes.
Wood,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Brings us to Water and Sewer Department report. Chief Will Hinchy.
All right. Chemical costs had went up a little bit this month. We were at 14 cents per thousand on treatment. Clinton as a whole is 23% water loss. Burnt Ridge is down just a little bit, 52. Denard was at 39, down from 43. And I do have a report for B Branch. We took over B Branch at 72% water loss. Last month it was 60, and it's at 47% now. So we don't have it in the report yet, but before I left office, Donna and I figured it's not in our system. So we're at 23% on what we take care of as of right now. That's all of Denard, B Branch. That's all of our, not B Branch, but Burnt Ridge, Denard. So we took out the pumpage and just did what they sold and added it to our pumpage. So it would have put Clinton as a whole as 33% if we were doing B Branch as Clinton right now. So we're hoping. We actually fixed about 5 leaks last Thursday and Friday at B Branch. So B Branches at 47 does hurt us worse than what Denard and them's does because it's a bigger system, but it brought us down, or brought us up about 10%. So it's not terrible. We've been worse at Clinton by ourselves than that. So there's a lot of projects going on. I hope everybody likes. I had to make a last minute decision on the color of the tank. So if you've seen the Isom tank, we researched it. The actual recommendation is green if you want the long-lasting color and not showing algae and not showing growth on it and everything. So we kind of went with that. It's called Lake Blue. I hope everybody likes it because it's painted. I've had a couple of complaints because City of Clinton's been moved over, like facing straight towards the highway instead of you can see it coming down the hill, but you know, they painted it on the weekend. So,
for Clinton.
But it does say Clinton, and it's not Modi, and it's blue now. So,
Look good.
I think it looks good. And now that it looks better, I went today. Those trees that are growing around that fence, none of them actually grow through it. So I get them down now with permission from the neighbor next door. I'm gonna talk to her tomorrow. I think we can have that all straightened back up.
Do it tonight on your way home in case it's ain't no.
Yeah, they might.
Yeah, that looks great. Winterley and Suzanne's happy. That looks good.
Yeah.
He probably would prefer red, but he didn't say that. They're happy. It looks great. You did a good job on it. Things are getting done. You know, we're tearing up streets.
We've started another project at the water treatment plant. They've actually started on it, poured some concrete pads. We've got the horseshoe here, redoing a lot of the sewer manholes. We're getting a lot of that replaced. We have not started the 2 other projects that were approved, with the wastewater and the line replacement over here in the river. So we'll get started
Iron out
on
those
them.
wrinkles and get them done
Yeah,
when you can.
we'll get started
That'd
on
be
them
great.
soon. Besides that, if anybody's got any questions, we do have, I don't know, did you have that on the agenda for after or during my report for the resolution?
Yes, it's under new business. Yeah. It's coming up. I was going to mention that. Anything else for Will?
Those guys putting the sewer lines in up on School Hill has really done a good job. They've on cleanup.
We've had a few complaints as far as blocking too much traffic, stuff like that, but as big of a project that's been, it's been minimal. I will say that. So.
Done a good job.
Cleaning up the yards and stuff.
I talked to Charles. I mean, they've done a good job on the street patches and stuff like that.
Real good. Real good. We all need to follow them around about a week.
Yeah.
It's good. They're doing a great job. The resolution I had is under new business and tanks painting. That's all I have. Anything else for Will? You need to. We'll pass that deal. You need to go if you can. Thank you. Brings us down to zoning report. I'll give that. The May report had 2 remodels, 1 fence repair and replace. That's down behind City Hall at Rex Morrison's old place. 1 vendor permit issued, multiple zoning property inquiries. I'm sure I misspelled that, but that's what I tried to say. A lot of people have been calling about, can I do this as opposed to that. Be meeting the last Thursday of every month here at 6 o'clock. 1 sewer line relocate that we finally got done. The customer had to put something over the sewer line. It's up on them to relocate it. The sirens DL had mentioned being worked on, and I have a final interview this Friday, and I'll make a decision on the new zoning official by the end of this month. And to all the people that I've interviewed, I said, hey, I'll call you back. I will call every single person back that I said I would, and talk to them well before then. So that's all I have in zoning. Any questions for me? Brings us down to unfinished business. We have none. The new business, the first one is that water resolution that Will just mentioned. I'm going to read this. This basically says we took out that loan. We're spending the money the way we said we would, and we have a reason to spend it. And resolution of intent regarding the water project. Whereas the city of Clinton, Arkansas, which is the city, proposes to acquire, construct, and equip extensions, betterments, and improvements to the water facilities of its water and sewer systems in the system, including particularly and without limitations the acquisition of the assets of B Branch Public Water Authority of the state of Arkansas, and replacement of water lines, rehabilitation of tanks, replacement of meters, improvements to the SCADA system, and replacement of the water treatment plant raw pump encasement pipe and auxiliaries, and related mapping, hydraulic model, and master planning the project. And whereas the city proposes to obtain funds to accomplish the project from the proceeds of the water and sewer revenue bonds, which are called the bonds to be issued by the city in the maximum aggregate principal in the amount of $7,500,000, and purchased in multiple advances by the Arkansas Development Finance Authority as part of the Drinking Water State Revolving Loan Fund Program administrated by the Arkansas Natural Resource Commission. And whereas the purchase price for the bonds will be paid from the proceeds of the bonds issued by the ADFA and other federal or state funds made available by the program. And whereas the purpose of this resolution is for the city to declare its official intent for the reimbursement of certain expenditures within the meaning of Regulation Section 1.150-2 promulgated by the United States Treasury Department. Now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, Section 1. The city hereby expresses its official intent to advance its own funds to pay the cost of the project prior to the issuance of the bonds and to reimburse itself from the proceeds of the bonds. The resolution will be considered an official intent for purpose of the regulation. Section 2, the city expects that, but does not limit, the source of the funds to be advanced for the project prior to the issuance of the bonds will be system revenues. Section 3, a copy of this resolution shall be filed in the official records of the city in the office of the city recorder within 10 days from the adoption hereof. I'll entertain a motion and second to adopt this resolution.
I make a motion we adopt the resolution.
Second.
Any other discussion? I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings,
Yes.
Lynch,
Yes.
Pistol,
Yes.
Ward,
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2025-07.
This other is a resolution we had talked about earlier on the street department. We talked about state aid. We've been talking a long time about using that for the road. The auditorium never could get that thing laid out. So this will be up around the Walmart area over towards Shake Rag and parts up there by the new fire station. A lot of traffic, concrete trucks, transfer station, Pettigene Electric. That needs a lot of work, and it's going to get it. We'll also replace a couple of tiles. Like I said, I think we're going to start laying that out for bid on next Wednesday. Not Carson, but Charles and I are going down there Tuesday. But this is a resolution okaying for us to use these funds. This is a resolution expressing the willingness of the City of Clinton to utilize state and street monies for the city overlay and surfacing project. whereas the City of Clinton understands that the state aid street programs funds are available for certain city projects at the following participating rates: the work phase and state aid percentage in the city, the reconstruction, resurfacing, and preliminary engineering, state aid takes 100% of that. The construction of the city projects and the construction engineering, also the right-of-way is 100% up to the city, which we already have. The utilities, well, 100% up to the city, which we know where they're at, so that's good. The construction is a 100%, maximum $300,000, completely paid by the state. The city projects program, but not let to contract all phases that we've mentioned, and there's 100% up to the city, so we picked where it goes. Now therefore it be resolved by the City Council of the City of Clinton, Arkansas, that Section 1, the city will participate in accordance with its designated responsibilities in this project. Section 2, the mayor or his designee is hereby authorized and directed to execute all appropriate agreements and contracts necessary to expedite the construction of this city project. Section 3, the city agrees upon completion of the project to assume the maintenance of the right-of-way by the city forces and other, including utilities and individuals, in accordance with the prevailing Arkansas Department of Transportation regulations. Section 4, the city pledges its full support and hereby authorizes the Arkansas Department of Transportation to initiate action to implement this project. I'll entertain a motion and a second to adopt this resolution.
Make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Any discussions?
Will this at the stoplight at Walmart, will this make it any wider?
No, that's state. The state will have to widen that, but we're gonna go from the end of the concrete all the way down transfer station, then we're gonna turn right, go down from Pagine, and then we'll pick up the bill to go out to 65, and then we'll pick up the bill to go up to the fire station.
We'll look at it.
They're gonna grind it and everything and get it down, so, and we may do a little grinding in places ourselves to get it where we've got good access all through there. All that's good heavy access. There's big trucks of all kinds there, so.
Is this only one we're gonna overlay street?
Yeah, by the time we get our extra stuff added in, we'll be cutting it pretty close with our budget. Cause we're gonna add on several pieces. We're gonna clean all that up going into the transfer station, and then we're gonna clean that up coming out toward the annex. We'll clean all that up. So, yeah, it's gonna eat up quite a bit.
There are a lot of traffic, as the mayor said.
Lots and lots of heavy traffic. That's the thing, is the cement trucks and then the Pettigene trucks, and then you got that big trucks coming in now to the chicken place there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Is there any way that the state would ever consider working that?
Seriously, once they set the guidelines on how wide these intersections and turn-ins are, then that's it. That's up to them, so.
Yeah, I catch grief at the Walmart turn in. Somebody's always dropping a wheel off, and it's not the city or the state engineering.
No, it's just, and I don't know why they narrowed it up. I couldn't answer that question other than maybe it's because of the crosswalk and they don't want people flying up through there and turning right.
Probably.
Because of the crosswalk. Everybody's got to stay in line regardless if you're going left or right, so.
We'll keep you honest pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Anything else on that? Charles, thank you on the new business. Wilba's here. She's with the Moonshine Festival. Wilba, you want anything
We
under?
got a vote, Richard.
I'm sorry. We got a vote? I thought we did. I'll ask for a vote.
Hastings.
Yes.
We're gonna win this one.
Pistol.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
2025-08.
Okay. It's a year ago, two ago, the Moonshine Festival moved over here.
Last year.
Last year, okay. Seemed like that, yeah. So that's good for our community. It's good for the fairgrounds. We're glad to have them here. They talked about wanting us to help them get a grant, and I'd mentioned that. I wrote a letter, and I think that was to get the proposal. I kept it pretty generic. As the mayor of Clinton, I wish to offer this letter to support the Ozark Moonshine Music Festival. It's a yearly event, brings people from all over the United States and beyond to our corner of the world that we call Arkansas. Not only does it showcase the Ozarks, but all of Van Buren County gets to share in a brand of Southern hospitality. So the Ozark Moonshine and Music Festival is also a strong financial supporter of at-risk youth, which was talked about tonight. That really worked out. That's why I wanted to mention this. And Clinton's proud to support such a great event that supports those in our community that need it the most. Again, Clinton is honored to work with such a great group of folks that make Arkansas proud, and thank you for your consideration and support in helping the Ozark Moonshine and Music Festival to continue. If I can be of other assistant, et cetera, et cetera. That's from me and the city of Clinton. And I think on that grant, and one thing I did want to mention, Will, but y'all do a great job. I just didn't want to put a lot of work on that grant for that on Dina. So if you have someone that can put that,
If that grant comes through us, I have to do it.
for 5,000, how much is, you can't get anybody to help you on that?
No.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just make a donation. It turns into, but we're glad to have you over here. And I think, are you going to 2 days this year, or do you know?
We're going to do 1 day, and we announced that. The reason is Clinton has such a successful Halloween event.
Yeah.
There's no way we would try to, fight that or match that. So we just know that every time Halloween, comes on a Friday night in Clinton, we'll just have a 1 day festival that weekend, and that's okay.
Yeah, Scarroll Square is people talk about the drawings, the old squirrel cages, and Gus and Sid. Scarroll Square puts them all to shame. But y'all have a great festival, so glad to have you.
Yeah, could we pass that to, combine the two of them?
I didn't get any of that.
We're talking about passing out moonshine on.
I didn't get any of that. Yeah. Yeah. It says there ain't, it's not down there. Anything else public comment wise? Thanks for coming. Anything from the council? I'd encourage you to talk to Trevor anytime. Mayor's comments. I have Roxy Williams passed. I mean, a lot of folks been passing. You get older to see that. She was a really great person, great family, great writer. Brian Ward, I mentioned him. He's been gone about a year. We put his ashes at Rocky Hill, at Lila's oldest boy. I missed it. I was out of town. The alumni went really well. The King girls were honored, as they should be. And Warren Johnson, the guy that films all this and spends all that money and all his time just for doing, was honored as a distinguished alumni. And I was very happy for that as well. Warren does a great job. Charles Wilson and David Hess had a lot of wind the other night. I get called out to somebody's home. I pull up there. David Hess is already there. Ain't much longer. Here's Charles Wilson getting the tree out of the street off the house. Didn't cost the homeowner a dime except sweat equity. That's the kind of people you want to have in your community. I'm very proud of those two guys. Methodist Church picked up a bunch of trash, did really well at the thrift store. All of our churches in this area do a great thing. I think we got some going at the park this weekend singing. I encourage you to attend these events. America is turning 250 next year, and Van Buren County is very well represented by that committee. We're grateful for that. And thank everybody, all you guys, department heads in the council, and everything you do. Trevor, you're doing a great job at the airport. You really are. You got a lot on you, and I appreciate you very much. All you guys. I just won't go on and on, but I do appreciate you. I know school board election's going on, and I think that's where probably Tim Barnes at. And Randy Ward was under the weather, but now he's like on the mend. So we're very grateful
back
for
on
that.
the mend, yeah.
Yeah, well, we want all those wards to stay healthy, especially you. You were here when Clinton was founded, Sammy. Anybody want the last word? Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you do for your fellow man. I'll entertain a motion second to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn. Second.